Okay.
But I saw Hazy Flame. I thought I did the whole
Okay.
male thing.
So Hazy Flame, I think everybody was kind of unprepared. That's why Hazy Flame did so well. I know Billy Break was there. First time I ever saw Billy Break. I was
Everyone was tripping balls about him. It's like, I don't get it.
see, and I saw the dude, and I'm like, huh. I thought he would have been taller. And I'm not disrespecting Billy Break at all, though I do have a funny story about him. Anyways, the dude, honestly, I saw the dude, and he just looked sad, like he was depressed. Like, he's known for his Yu-Gi-Oh notoriety, but like, he liked the attention and stuff, but he was just tired of, like, you could tell he just wanted to go there and play, and everyone just kept haggling him, and they're like, hey, sign this, hey, sign this, hey, sign this. And I mean, honestly, I saw the dude a tiny bit, like he was dueling the entire rounds and everything, and I think he made top 8, right? He made 7 of top 8. We didn't stay around for the top 8 matches because we were kind of tired, and yeah, it was a long day. But I don't know what he actually placed, but he made it. He was 7 of top 8 for the preliminaries. It was what, 247? I think that's what it was.
It was 200 something.
237, 247. It was right below 250. Out of all that, I made like 121, I think, which
117.
117. Okay, I made 117.
Oh shit! We were supposed to go down there, but then it had me going back up. I don't understand what's up with that.
So my first regionals, I did about, I guess, 50% or whatever. I did better than half of them, which isn't bad for a first regionals, especially since my deck was inexperienced. But I mean, it did really good. It either did really good, or they just wrecked me in like 2 turns. And I don't mean wrecked me as in killed me, I mean wrecked me as in put me in a tight spot. Because I mean, my deck, top deck's like no other. Like seriously, if I needed something, not the exact card, but if I needed something, I would pull a card that I needed. And I'd be like, yes, I have a chance, yes, I have a chance. I'm trying to think. I'll talk a little bit more about it later, but my matches were Dino Rabbit, and my first time, I looked at the guy, and I didn't know who the hell he was. I didn't recognize him or anything. But I was kind of talking in general when I said, I'm not gonna rule shark you if you don't rule shark me. I'm not a little bitch, but if you want to be a little bitch, you can be a little bitch. And I didn't know the guy till like after I dueled him, that everyone was like, yeah, that dude's a rule shark like no other. Like, he waits for you to fuck up, and then he'll rule shark you, and then he'll call a judge over. I was like, are you serious? I was like, well, good, then I was right in saying he was a little bitch. He didn't rule shark me because I think he was a little scared, honestly. I don't know why, but yeah. But the first match, I remember I had a boss hand. I could have gone off Shockmaster first turn easy. But since it was the first match, the first turn, I didn't know what he was playing, and I didn't want to call anything and screw myself. So I was like, I didn't even set anything. And I was just like, go for it. And first turn, he was like Doka, and then like second turn, he was like Doka, Logia. So I mean, he kind of locked me down, and I didn't get my effects. And then the second round, I did a little better, but my hand was shit. I got like 5 spells and traps, and I got like, I think, I got a monster I couldn't summon, I remember. And I was like, damn it. And that was first match. Second match was... What was second match? 8 matches. First match that. Second match was... Damn, I can't remember. I can't remember second match, but I'll get into it later. Third match, it was just mishmash. The guy I played against, he kind of really wasn't all there. Like, he could play, but just barely. So, I mean, and he didn't have sleeves, and he just, yeah, he really wasn't the best in appearance or smell or anything like that. And honestly, I felt a little bad for the guy. And I asked him, I'm like, why don't you have any sleeves? And he said he had sleeves, they just didn't match. And I was like, you know what, I got an extra pack of sleeves, I'm not going to use them, this dude can have them. So I just tossed them his way, and I'm like, here you go, man. I was like, I don't need them, you know, they're extra, whatever. But, But anyway, so he played Mishmash. He actually fiendish chained and stopped me like dead in my tracks. And then I pulled tour guide. I tour guided into acid golem and then creature swapped. So he got his fiendish chain monster. I put that on his side of the field. Or no, I'm sorry. 2 turns later, I detached for acid golem, and then I gave him my acid golem. That was first round. In the second round, he fiendish chained my my Watt Giraffe. No, one of my thunders. He fiendish chained something, and I creature swapped, and I took like his Sangan or something, and then I ended up. I think I ended up just getting rid of it. I don't remember, but I fiendish chained, and he had a beater that he was taking damage on that he couldn't attack with. And he was just like, oh, okay, alright. And I feel a little bad for the dude, honestly. But I was like, I'm here to win, you know? But, yeah, so I took that one. Because I lost my first 2 matches. Zombies, that's what it was. My second match was zombies. And the dude ran like a really, I guess like all zombie decks, it just kept reviving itself. And I was like, it was upsetting, honestly. But first match, he took it. Second match, I did way better. I got him to like 200 life points. And then he pulled out Ally of Justice Field Marshal, I believe it was, and he used the effect where like if I have a face-up light, which I did, he's like he would take one of my monsters, and I would take the damage of the 2 monsters or something like that to my life points, and I took like 46, something like that.
Field Marshal is when it destroys a defense position monster. Or wait, no.
It's an old school one. It's one people don't play.
Wait up, no, Field Marshal's the 2900. That when it destroys the defense position, you draw a card.
Was it Light Gazer then?
Light Gazer gains 200 for every light in your opponent's graveyard.
Okay, I can't remember which one it was, but it was one that
It's probably
I always wanted to
decisive
run.
armor.
It could have been decisive armor.
Armor has like 3 effects that, like, if your opponent has a light monster, you can destroy like a face down. You can discard your whole hand to like have them discard every light monster you gain, or they take.
That's what it was. That's exactly what it was. Okay, so it was what'd you say it was? Light Gazer?
Decisive armor.
Decisive armor. Okay, so it was decisive armor. I took like 4,600 damage, and the people next to me just like looked at me like, "Did he just seriously do that to you?" And I was just like, "Yeah, man, I guess he did." And they're like, "And you're still not dead?" I'm like, "He hasn't touched my life points." Well, that's a lie. Actually, I think I played Violent Prism, so I was down to like 75, and I took 46. He took, I think, my Chaos Sork, or my BLS, one of the 2. I just remember it was one of the RFP ones. He took that, and then he hit me for like, he swung at me with everything, and he only killed me by like negative 200 life points. And my next turn, I would have had it. I would have killed him flat out. But his zombies wrecked me, and then that was it for match 2. And then match 3 was that, and then we went to lunch. And there's another story. Match 4 was Machinas. I'd never played against Machinas before. I shut him down, basically. I mean, I had Fossil Dyna. They killed it. I had Watt Giraffe, and I think I had my spell out, my, shit. The one that stops 1500 and above from attacking. And they couldn't attack, because they just had a bunch of beaters out. He had like a fortress and the cannon one, but he couldn't attack because all his monsters were either too high or they didn't have enough attack. Because I had Watt Giraffe, I had like I think like a Maw Hunter and something else out, and so I pulled out my Chaos Sword and my Watt Giraffe. So I would swing for Watt Giraffe, he couldn't activate anything, and then I would just RFP something. And he's like, "Yeah, fuck this, I'm not doing this." He's like, "Scoop." So he scooped the first one. And the second one, he actually got out his fortress, but then I pulled, I went off, and I was like Maw Hunter, Paw Hunter, Maw Hunter, Watt Giraffe. And I went, I believe I went, I think Utopia, and then I had played Tour Guide before, so I had that in the grave. And then I went BLS, so it was Utopia, BLS, and Watt Giraffe. And he would attack, and I would, negate and remove, and then swing, and he's like, "Yeah, I can't do anything with this." He's like, "Alright, whatever." So he finished out the last round, but I kind of felt a little bad, honestly. That was match 4. Match 5. What was match 5? I don't remember match 5. I'll have to come back to this later. Match 6 was Gishki. There was this kid playing Gishki there, and it was a Gishki hand loop where he basically keeps drawing his entire deck, and then he recycles 5 cards, and then he draws some more, and then he recycles 5 cards. It was kind of ridiculous. And basically it's just a stall deck to where you don't do anything for that first turn if he goes off. And I remember he kept making me not so much mill but draw. I would draw and draw and draw and draw. And at one point I had like a 20-something card hand. And I remember playing Baylor on the wrong thing the first turn. And I looked at him, I'm like, did I Baylor the right thing? He looked at me and he just smiled, he's like, no. I'm like, yeah, I didn't think so. So I ended up Bailing his, the one that recycles 5 cards, the 5 spells. I can't remember the name of it. It's like August, I think it is. And that was match 1. And I actually let him do the whole loop until I was down to 2 cards. And I sat on those 2 cards for like a good 10 minutes at least. I'd say 20, but I know for sure it was at least 10. Before I was like, yeah, I'm going to scoop because he's going to try and run me out of time. Second match, I went first. I remember I just tossed out Falsadina, and he looked at his hand for a good 5 minutes, just kept shuffling through. And he's like, yeah, I got nothing. I'm not going to play this. I'm like, okay. So he scooped second round. Third round, he went first, and I got lucky because turn 2, he actually didn't have any pull, he didn't have any draws, which is amazing because his deck is like 98% draw power. And he ran out of draw power, and I threw down Wild Giraffe, and I think I had, what was it? It was Wild Giraffe and something else, where it wasn't like, it slowed him down a lot, but it didn't stop him completely. And from there, he went off his turn, and then once again, I don't know how, I Veilered his Royal Magic Library, and he couldn't draw. And he's like, alright, I can't do this. So he didn't do anything in that turn, and then he gave it back to me. And then I believe I pulled... I honestly can't remember. I wrote down notes for this, but I don't have them with me. And I was like, alright, Wild Giraffe, and something else. And by this time, they called time, so we had 5 turns. And he's like, alright, this is turn 0. And a judge literally sat down next to me, just to make sure everything was clean. Because there was people getting pissed at this kid. Because, I mean, nobody wants to play a 45-minute duel where the guy's just playing with himself, you know? So, I think I Veilered his Magic Library, and then we were running out of time. I Solemn Judgment, which I shouldn't have, and I was down to 4,500, and he had like 8,000, and I was afraid he was going to win just off life points. But, I pulled out, I think that's when I pulled out my BLS. I pulled out, I think it was Utopia, some 2,500. No, it's a Sigma. That's what it was. It was BLS, Vylon de Sigma, and something else. And I swung, and he had like 200 life points. And I was like, your turn. He's like, I got nothing. I'm like, alright, you want to just call it game? He's like, yeah, alright. Thankfully, the judge was sitting there. And he's like, thank you. I was like, yeah, no worries. I mean, I was tired at this point in time. It was like 7 o'clock at night, I think. And then my last match was Mermails, and they wrecked me hard. I got destroyed, and that's the only card I didn't want to go up against, the main deck that I worried about. But that was regionals in a nutshell. I'll go in a little more in depth later. Alright guys, so that's it for now. We're heading out to Denver to go shopping and blow some money. Alright guys.